A Jewish girls' school in North York was hit by gunfire for a second time. For the very latest, we're going to go live to CP24's Andrew Brennan, who is there this morning with more on what police are saying. Andrew?
Yeah, Lindsay, we have heard from police. Not only the integrated gang and gun crime unit was here, and we heard it from an inspector saying at this time they're investigating the possibility that this could be a hate crime. They say that they're letting the evidence lead them to where they have to go, but also bearing in mind, let's not forget that this school, this Jewish girls' elementary school, was targeted once already near the May 2-4 weekend with gunfire. And two, today is Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the Jewish calendar, that this is not lost on Toronto police. We have heard from the Premier. The Premier said that this is something that he believes definitively, categorically, to be an anti-Semitic display. Let's now bring in Michael Westcott. He's the CEO of Allies for a Stronger, a strong Canada. Michael, we do appreciate your time and having you react to what you've heard so far and how maybe what a strong Canada could be. How do we collectively respond to something like this?
Thank you, Andrew. Well, I think first it's important to say that all Canadians should be horrified and disgusted by this latest anti-Semitic attack on the Jewish community. We're going to hear a lot of people say today and over the weekend things like hate has no more and hate has no place in Canada. But it's impossible to look at just the last year and believe that there is not been an escalation. As you said, this is the second time that this particular school has been attacked. It's not the first Jewish school in Canada to be attacked in the last year. But at the same time, we've also seen other incidents of vandalism, arson, even physical assaults on individuals. Jewish businesses have been targeted. Community centers have been targeted. Daycares have been targeted. Senior centers have been targeted, as well as places of worship. Until we start to see a real action, I don't believe that we're going to see not just an end, but a further escalation of the hatred that we've already seen targeting the Jewish community.
The Toronto police have spoken about, the numbers, that just even the latest was a 75% increase in terms of reported cases of anti-Semitism to police. And the chief of Toronto police has said definitively, particularly when it comes to both anti-Semitic and Islamophobic attacks, that he believes that the numbers that they have are much lower than what they truly are. And with that in mind, Michael, thinking a little bit now about that concrete action you're talking about, what could that be in your mind?
Well, there's been a lot of discussion over the last year about limiting the ability for protests in front of community centers, in front of schools, in front of hospitals, and places of worship. I think that now is the time to see some concrete action taken on that. So police have the resources that they need to be able to effectively protect elements of our community. At the same time, we see people in Canada who are speaking out with incredibly violent language. Just this past week, we have seen video, as I'm sure you and everybody watching has, of people saying things like "death to Canada" and burning Canadian flags. This escalation really demonstrates that while the Jewish community is being uniquely targeted, this is an issue that really touches us all. And now is the time for Canadians to stand up and say, this is not acceptable, and action needs to be taken. And we do need to see more than words from our leaders across the country.
It does touch us all. We see rising numbers for a lot of different groups in Canada, and anti-Semitism, even going back more than 5 years, has always been in the top 3 of reported hate crimes to Toronto police. Michael, we're going to have to leave it there, but we do thank you for your time today. And again, all the best.
Thank you, Andrew.
In front
Thank you. Take care.
This school. Thank you. We're just going to send it back to you inside. As we've heard from police, we will have more from our conversation with the Premier earlier, as well as from the Mayor, Olivia Chow. We were able to speak with both of them today and get their reaction. We'll share more of that later on CP24. Back to you for now.
Absolutely. Okay, that's CP24's Andrew Brennan gathering reaction there at the scene today. Andrew, thanks for that.